The Regional Planning Commission meeting to order at 6 o'clock on the 28th. Can we start out with roll call, please?
Rob Pierce,
Present.
Marilyn Kramer, Michael Flick,
Here.
David Jackman,
Here.
Christina Del Villar,
Here.
Carl Nieberlein,
Here.
Dan Lasareski,
Here.
Shelley Reed, and Alex Velto absent. We have a quorum.
Wonderful, thank you. Y'all please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have approval of the agenda. I don't have any changes. Can I get a motion to accept?
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the agenda as submitted.
Okay, do we have a second?
Commissioner Lazarus, second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right. At this time, well, let's open it up for public comment. Do we have any public comment?
We have none.
No public comment. All right, we'll move on to item number 5, approval of the minutes. We're going to split these up. So first of all, it's A, July 24th. Does everybody have a chance to look at that? And if so, is there any changes that somebody would like to add or make? Okay, if not, can I get a motion to accept as written?
Mr. Chair, I move to accept as the July 24th, 2025 meeting minutes as written.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Dan seconds it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, motion passes. Moving on to 5B. August 4th, Regional Planning Commission minutes. I do have one change. On page 13, it states my name. I asked about population growth. And I think around that same time that I asked Mr. Foster a question about the consideration of the Washoe County Master Plan and if that was considered in his request. And I think he said, no, we didn't. And then he said, why would we? And I would just like to have somebody please relook at that and please enter that into the meeting minutes, and then we'll relook at it again next month. Okay, so we're moving on to item number 6, business of the day. Public hearing continued from the August 4th meeting. Conformance review of the Washoe County School District Facilities Plan with the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan. Can we please have that presentation?
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. Nate Kusha for the record. We are going to be looking at the conformance review for the Washoe County School District Facilities Plan. Just a quick overview. This will be the first of many we have tonight of our conformance reviews of master plans and facilities plans. Whenever a new regional plan is adopted, all of the affected entities and jurisdictions have to submit their master plans or facilities plans for conformance review with the newly adopted regional plan. Again, this is the first one for tonight, is the Washoe County School District Facilities Plan. So with that, the Washoe County School District Facilities Plan was most recently updated June 10th of this year. And we worked with the school district through that update process to make sure any changes in the 2024 regional plan were incorporated into their facilities plan. Their facilities plan acts as the capital improvement plan for the school district and contains information on funding of capital projects and projects needed, as well as the expected timeframes for those projects. It includes population and student enrollment projections and identifies current and future school sightings. Staff's determination is that we find it in conformance with the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan. So overhead is our policy RC9, with you're probably all familiar with now, but that outlines our review criteria for any conformance review, and we'll walk through those. So for population growth, the Washoe County School District Facilities Plan does utilize the consensus forecast to assess the need for new schools or the expansion of existing schools. And for this section, we have no scheduled additions. For regional form, the future school facilities identified in the facilities plan are based on anticipated enrollment growth resulting from known approved and planned residential developments. And so as far as conforming with the regional form section of the plan, it really relies on where developments are approved throughout the region, the conformance of the school district plan itself. So it kind of depends on what is happening in the region. Generally, their plan does align with our regional form section. You can see a list of outlined of the current school facilities by tier there. And this does generally align with our priority hierarchy for like development and things, where that most of these schools that you're seeing are kind of in that tier 1 and tier 2 lands, where we have most of our core region and our suburban areas. Again, no scheduled additions for that section. For public facilities and services, there are 2 policies specific to the Washoe County School District Facilities Plan, and that is that it must not allow for new school site of less than 1,200 students that necessitates a new speed-controlled zone on an arterial roadway, and second, that it must not allow for new schools with more than 300 full-time students in the rural area. Both of those are adhered to in the facilities plan, and there are no scheduled additions for public facilities and services. For natural resources, the overall plan generally aligns with our natural resource policies. There are no specific requirements for the facilities plan. However, they do include, their facilities plan does include the board policy 7400, which is talks about conservation and sustainability. And it does require all Washoe County School District schools and facilities to implement practices which are not harmful to or which limit the depletion of natural resources and enhance building and facility performance, among a slew of other things. And this does generally align with our natural resource requirements in the regional plan. Again, no scheduled additions. Finally, moving on to regional coordination. There are no specific requirements for the affected entities in this element, and we have found no conformance issues with the school district facilities plan and no scheduled additions here as well. So overall, it aligns with the policies we have in the regional plan. It meets all requirements, and we have actually no scheduled additions for this plan. And so we are suggesting that it conforms as is. So overhead is a proposed motion, and I'm available for any questions, as well as school district staff is on the Zoom for questions if you have any.
All right, wonderful, thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Do we have any public comment on the matter?
No, we have none.
Okay, do we have any, bring it back to the board? We'll start here. Does anybody have any discussion or anything? How about on Zoom? Do you guys have anything that you guys would like to talk about?
No.
All right, seeing as how there's no discussion, I'll open it up for a motion.
Mr.
This is Commissioner Jockman. I move to fund the Washoe County School District Facilities Plan in conformance with the 2024 Rocky Meadows Regional Plan based on the findings listed in the staff report.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. All right, motion passes. Moving on to 6B, continuation from the August 4th meeting. The compliance or conformance review of the Reno Tahoe International Airport Master Plan with the Truckee Meadows Regional Plan. Can we have a presentation, please?
Chris Tolley, TMRPA, for the record. All right, item 6B, this is a conformance review for the Reno Tahoe International Airport Master Plan, that case number for us, CR 25-013. Going to echo what Nate said to start off his presentation, and that this has been submitted, and this will apply to all the rest of them too, so I'll keep it short, but this is submitted in response to the update to the update of the regional plan that resulted in the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan. And we will provide some overview and then get into the analysis contained in the staff report. So the Reno International Airport, or RNO, Reno Tahoe International Airport, functions primarily as a commercial aviation airport, which offers commercial passenger service and air cargo activities. The commercial service area, or the catchment area, as they refer to it, extends beyond the boundary of Washoe County to encompass much of northern Nevada and northeastern California. In regards to the RNO Master Plan, it was most recently updated in 2018 and presents an overall vision of the airport for the next 20 years. This includes understanding each of the existing facilities and how they can be optimized to better serve customers. Estimated timeframe for completion of the 3 scheduled additions. We'll get into the analysis of the Airport Master Plan as looking to the timeframe of fall of this next year. And staff's determination is that the RNO Master Plan conforms with the Truckee Meadows Regional Plan with the inclusion of the 3 scheduled additions. Policy RC9 of the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan identifies the factors the RPC must consider when evaluating conformance. And to start here, looking at population growth specifically. So as prefaced, the RNO Master Plan is planning for facilities to accommodate the estimated growth of commercial air services. And again, that their service area extends beyond Washoe County, and they refer to it as the catchment area. As I identified, it is much bigger and includes a lot of northern Nevada as well as parts of northeastern California. And given the service area of RNO, the consensus forecast, population, and employment projections cannot be the sole input in determining the aviation activity forecast. So to the degree possible, the consensus forecast, or policy PG3 of the regional plan, should be utilized by the Reno Tahoe Airport Authority to help inform relevant aviation forecasts and public service and facility provisioning for RNO. So that is the first scheduled addition we identified in the staff report. And moving on to regional form, we have no scheduled additions here. The RNO Airport is entirely on the Tier 1 regional land use designation, and this area is developed at varying densities and intensities. In regard to public facilities and services, considering that RNO is in the Tier 1 land use, additional public facilities, public infrastructure investments in the RNO facility are expected. As the population of RNO service area increases, in theory, the airport facilities will likely need to be modified appropriately. And that gets back to also the concept of the catchment area. And then in regards to natural resources, the RNO Master Plan is anticipated to, or will incorporate, per the scheduled additions, NR4 and natural resource consideration areas, and NR15, source water protection and watershed management, again, through the schedule addition process. And these schedule additions would have the master plan recognize both policies and the associated data. And in regards to regional coordination, DMRPA and the RTAA staff both coordinate through meetings on an as-needed basis, and that could include the Truckee Meadows Annual Report, the Public Infrastructure Plan, or a regional plan update process, or any additional meetings that we need. And then TMRPA staff also serves on the Airport Sustainability Advisory Committee, which covers both airports. And finally, the proposed motion is listed on the screen or on page 31, I believe, of the packet. That does conclude my presentation. However, I am available, or TMRPA is available for any questions, and I'm not sure if we have a RTAA staff member on the line or here tonight.
All right. Thank you for your presentation. Does anybody have any questions at this time? No? All right. Do we have any public comment?
No public comment.
All right. Do we have any discussion from the members down here before we go to Zoom? Any discussion? Any discussion from Zoom members? Okay. If there's no discussion and no comments, then let's open it up for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to find the Reno Tahoe International Airport RNO Master Plan in conformance with the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan based on the findings listed in the staff report.
All right. We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Who was first?
Mike,
No.
All right. All right. As long as we got that. All right. We got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to 6C. For public hearing, continue from the August 4th meeting, conformance review of the Reno Stead RTS Master Plan with the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan, CR 25-014.
Good
Ma-
evening again.
Welcome. Please.
Good
give
evening
your
again,
direct
Commissioners. Chris Tully, Team RPA. This item is a conformance review of the Reno Stead Airport Master Plan. And as mentioned, case number CR 25-014. All right, the Reno Stead Airport is a general aviation airport with additional related uses. That airport master plan was most recently updated in 2010 and functions as a long-range capital improvement planning document and helps strategize the RTAA's decision-making process regarding capital improvements. In addition, the master plan addresses the potential utilization of airport-owned land for non-airport uses. The estimated time frame for completing the scheduled additions for this one again is fall of 2026. And then as of, I don't know the exact date, but we got a notice today through our email that the Reno State Airport has officially kicked off an update to the master plan. And Team RPA has been invited to participate in a similar way to the most recent update to the Reno International Airport Master Plan. So we will, as we told them already, participate in the process. And then regional planning staff is recommending that the master plan, RTS master plan, conforms to the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan with the inclusion of the 2 scheduled additions identified in the staff report. All right, so in regards to population growth, regional forum, public facilities and services, and regional coordination, we have not identified any scheduled additions. However, for the natural resources section, in a similar manner, we have identified policies NR4, which again is the natural resource consideration areas, and NR15, which is the watershed protection and source water protection and watershed management policy. And these will be again added through the scheduled addition process and approximately fall of 2026. However, I believe they said that their process for updating the RTS master plan would likely take 2 years. So there might be a little bit of a negotiation in terms of how they decide to include these policies in their overall process.
Mr. Chair, if I may, just that last slide, if you go back to that, it's the same too, but it should say RTS master plan, just for the record.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so with that, that does conclude my presentation. The motion is on the screen or on page 43 of the packet.
All right, and you're available for questions.
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions at this time?
Chair, I do.
Go ahead.
Commissioner Del Villar, just one quick question, and it was referred to in the documents that we received, but obviously the air races are no longer part of that. But I understand that they might be doing some other things, whether it's like FedEx doing shipping or potentially some other air races of some sort. So I'm just curious, does that impact this at all, or is that going to be part of their processes? They kind of work through all of that.
That doesn't impact what we're looking at here. There's really a couple routes they're going down as far as we've been apprised, and we've had a couple of meetings with them. But in order to really look at the utilization of the airport, of both airports in this instance, and if they wanted to lease certain areas, they have to go through a lengthy process, master plan process, that is pursuant to really some FAA directives, but they have to identify the use of the airport over a given time frame. I believe that's normally around 20 years. So if they were to lease additional areas or take additional uses that are not related directly to the airport, it would have to be identified and proved up through that federal process. And in that, if something is identified, that also has to go through a standard permitting process at the local jurisdictions and us. So if there were additional uses to locate on the site that exceeded, let's say, our project of regional significance jobs threshold, which is 938 jobs, and they have a certain number of jobs out there already that we're tracking in regards to that threshold. But at some point in time, it is likely if they were to take additional lands and lease them to other uses, that they would exceed that threshold and have to come in for a project of regional significance review. So yes, there's a federal process that will take a look at this holistically to see if they can. that will also identify the improvements to the airport just for general aviation as it theoretically expands or whatever is anticipated to do over the horizon year of approximately 20 years. And then it'll have to go through the local permitting process, including us.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
Is the approval process for, say, Reno International and the General Aviation Airport the same, or is it different?
If, per my knowledge, I think it is the same through the federal. So they have to go through and identify basically what the national forecasts and trends are for airports of a particular size. So Reno International Airport, Reno Tahoe International Airport, I think is a small to mid-size airport. And it would have its own set of trends, national trends, and utilization that they're planning for. And then the same when you're looking at a general aviation airport, such as Reno Tahoe or Reno State Airport. So I think it's the same, roughly same process as would be my assumption through the FAA. However, they're looking at those airports through a different lens. Hopefully that helps clarify. So they're not going to apply the same standards for a commercial service airport that they would to a general aviation airport.
Do we have any other questions? My mic turned off. Do we have any other questions from anybody? None? Okay, do we have any public comment?
We have none.
No public comment, all right. We'll bring it back to the board. Do we have any discussion on the matter from anywhere? Zoom, nothing? All right, I'll open it up for a motion. Somebody like to make a motion?
Mr.
Yeah,
Chair.
this is Commissioner Jockman. I move to find the Reno Stead Airport Master Plan in conformance with the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan based on the findings listed in the staff report.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second.
Commissioner Del Villar, I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, motion passes. Moving on to 6D. Public hearing continued from the August 4th meeting. Conformance review of Reimagine Reno Master Plan with the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan CR 25-020. May we please have our presentation?
All right. Hi, everyone. Shawnee Sousa, Team RPA for the record. I'm going to be taking you through both of our jurisdictional master plans tonight. We're going to start with Reno. So just a brief overview, the Reimagine Reno Master Plan was completely overhauled in 2017, and they did have additional updates in 2021. And it's a wide-ranging plan and it addresses everything in the NRS, that it's supposed to, as well as some additional sections as well. We do believe that it conforms with the regional plan with some scheduled additions. All of them are to be completed in summer of 2026, with the exception of one, and when we get to that point, I'll let you know. So here's that same review criteria. I'm going to take you through each of those sections now. So starting with population growth, we have no scheduled additions. In the Reimagine Reno Master Plan, Chapter 4, Growth and Reinvestment Framework, it describes the utilization of our Washoe County Consensus Forecast, and that satisfies policy PG3 of the regional plan. And then on the right, you can see the affordable housing strategies and guiding principle number 4 in the Reimagine Reno plan, and that satisfies PG4 affordable housing strategies in the regional plan. So here we do have one scheduled addition, and this is that one that's going to be expected to be long-term, and we're going to be working in close coordination with City of Reno staff on this one. So this pertains to Regional Plan Policy RF3, Density Requirements and Non-Residential Standards. For this, the suburban mixed use within the City of Reno, specifically their mixed-use suburban zoning, does not have a density limitation. However, within the regional plan in Tier 2, we do have a density limitation for that, and it's 30 dwelling units per acre. And so the City of Reno is going to review their SMU master plan land use designation and see if there's a better way to align it with Tier 2. And we're going to just work closely to see if there's a better method, if there's a better process, and we aren't quite sure where it's going yet. So we want to really be able to take the time with them and ensure that we get the right process to flow easier. Next, we have public facilities and services. And there are no scheduled additions here. Within the Reimagine Reno Plan, guiding principle number 2, responsible and well-managed growth, contains goals and policies that pertain to the provision of public services and facilities, including supporting a fiscally responsible growth pattern, improving existing levels of service, and ensuring effective, efficient, and equitable delivery of city services and infrastructure. So next, similar to Chris's as well, we just have one more here. So there are 3 scheduled additions for the jurisdictions. Each of these really came out of the 2024 plan as initiatives. We did a lot of research behind these. The first one is that NRCA layer, ensuring the utilization and recognition of that. The second one that's a little different for this is the regional trails connectivity that is also now housed at TMRPA and it's within our website. So just really recognizing and using that. And the third one is the watershed protection plan, also just recognizing and utilizing that within their plan. Next, for regional coordination, we have one scheduled addition. For the, this is for Regional Plan Policy 2, Spheres of Influence. City of Reno has identified that within their sphere of influence, they would like to roll out some parcels. And so as you can see the map on the right, the dark blue areas are the areas within the City of Reno jurisdiction, and the light blue are within their sphere of influence. So they're just going to clean that up, take a closer look, and we'll work with them on that. So that will require them at that time to make a Reno Master Plan Amendment as well as a Regional Plan Amendment to our Map 1 regional jurisdiction. Overhead is the motion as well as in your packet. I'm available as well as City of Reno staff.
All right. You bet.
Just a quick clarifying comment. The 2024 regional plan update back in December, when we went through that process, that was the time at which the parcels identified for the SY rollback were officially rolled out of the sphere. So they're no longer in the sphere. This scheduled addition is kind of a catch-up amendment so that the Reimagine Reno maps can accurately reflect that with their master plan designations. So that process is going to go forward, and you'll see that when it comes through. We always bring it back. All of these will come back as a cleanup item so you can see that it's been done.
Wonderful. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions at this time? No questions? Nobody online with any questions? All right. Do we have any public comment?
We have none.
All right. Do we have any discussion from anybody? No discussion online? All right. With that, I'll open it up for a motion. Can I get a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I move to find the City of Reno Master Plan in conformance with the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Commissioner Jockman, second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, moving on to item 6E. Public hearing continued from the August 4th. Once again, conformance review of the City of Sparks Comprehensive Plan with the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan, CR 25-021. Will we please have our presentation?
Shawnee Sousa, TMRPA for the record. Now I'll be taking you through the Ignite Sparks Comprehensive Plan. All right, brief overview here as well to start. This was completely overhauled in 2016, and their most recent updates were done in 2021. They also, meet all the requirements of NRS and then have some additional sections. The estimated timeframe for completing their scheduled additions is fall of 2026, and we do recommend that with these scheduled additions, it does conform with the regional plan. That same set of review criteria you've seen a few times tonight. Okay, and so for population growth, similarly to City of Reno, there are no scheduled additions. They utilize the Washoe County Consensus Forecast, satisfying policy PG3 of the regional plan. And then on the right, they satisfy policy PG4 with their affordable housing strategy plan. For regional form, there are no scheduled additions. They provide a residential and non-residential land uses that are balanced, and they prioritize development in the core areas and aim to promote compact development, facilitate infill and redevelopment, and enhance downtown Sparks Center. For public facilities and services, there are also no scheduled additions. Chapter 4, Framework for the Future, Community Facilities and Service Goals and Policies, strives to maintain or, as necessary, upgrade the condition of city-owned facilities and infrastructure while maximizing their utilization. And then for natural resources, we have those 3 scheduled additions, really the bulk of their updates. Once again, that NRCA layer, then the regional trails, they're the plan as well, and then the watershed protection plan. It's a lengthy title, so. And finally, for regional coordination, we have no scheduled additions as well. The motions overhead on the screen or within your packet. Myself, as well as City of Sparks staff, is available for any questions.
Wonderful, thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you.
At this time, do we have any questions? Anybody online have any questions? No? Do we have any public comment?
No public comment.
No public comment. Bring it back to the board for discussion. Do we have any discussion on this? No discussion? All right, then I'll open it up for a motion. Somebody wish to make a motion? I'll make the motion. I move to find the City of Sparks comprehensive plan in conformance with the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan based upon the findings listed in the staff report. Do we have a second?
Second.
Dan seconds it. All right, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. All right, motion passes. All right, 6F, public hearing and regional plan conformance review, City of Sparks Comprehensive Plan Amendment, 2301 Sparks Boulevard, CR 25-011. A request to amend the comprehensive plan land use designation for immediate density residential IDR to commercial C for a 0.79 acre site located at 2301 Sparks Boulevard, APN 036-011-23. And at this time is Chris for a presentation. May we please have our presentation, sir?
Good evening again, Chris Tolley, Team RPA. Great introduction of the item. That was well done. So I'll just roll. Again, Chris Tolley, Team RPA. This item is a conformance review of the 2301 Sparks Boulevard amendment to the City of Sparks Comprehensive Plan. And on the right-hand side of the screen, we can see the regional form map. So as noted, the proposal is an amendment to the Sparks Comprehensive Plan, and we'll cover the details through the presentation. The Sparks Planning Commission recommended adoption of the proposed amendment at their July 17th meeting. And then following the Sparks Planning Commission's determination, the City of Sparks planning staff submits items for conformance review prior to the Sparks City Council considering the proposal for final adoption. And finally, regional planning staff recommends that the proposed amendment conforms with the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan. Continuing with the overview, the subject site is located at 2301 Sparks Boulevard, and that is adjacent to the Sparks Boulevard and O'Callahan Drive and Springland Drive intersection. Subject site is approximately 0.79 acres in size. And as we can see on the neighborhood map, that the property is located in Tier 1. The previous map was a regional form map. I don't know if I said that correctly, but anyway. Continuing on. As introduced, the proposal is an amendment to change the land use for the subject site from intermediate density residential to commercial. Additionally, the proposal considered by the City of Sparks includes a request to rezone the site from multifamily planned unit development to professional office. And then we can see the existing and proposed land uses. The left-hand side is the existing, again, currently intermediate density residential, proposed to go to commercial, which is shown on the right. All right, as we've seen with the previous items, policy RC9 of the regional plan identifies the 5 factors that the RPC must consider when evaluating conformance. In regards to population growth, this request proposes a change in land use designation, again from IDR to commercial. The proposal will not appreciably change projected housing totals for the region. In regards to regional form, the subject site is located in the Tier 1 regional land designation, and the proposed land use amendment would result in a compatible land use from a regional and local perspective. The amendment would also be more closely aligned with the historical use of the site. Public facilities and services to serve the site are currently in place. And then in regards to natural resources, The 0.79 acre site is currently developed with a building and a parking lot. And in regards to regional coordination, Team RPA does ensure that regional coordination is at the forefront of our work, and we coordinate with jurisdictional staff and other relevant entities during the conformance review process. And we did provide an initial review memorandum for this particular case. So with that, this does conclude my presentation. The suggested motion is on the screen and also on page 74. And Team RPA and City of Sparks staff are available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Great presentation. Do we have any questions from anybody? Anybody online? Okay. Do we have any public comment?
We have none.
No public comment. Bring it back to the board for discussion. Do we have any discussion from anybody? Not hearing any. I'll open it up for a motion. Can I get a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I move to find the 2301 Sparks Boulevard Amendment to the City of Sparks Comprehensive Master Plan in conformance with the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan based on the findings listed in the staff report.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Commissioner Del Villar, I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, motion passes. Moving on, item number 6G. Public hearing, regional plan conformance review, Washoe County project regional significance, Indigo Basin Solar, CR 25-017, a request for a special use permit to establish a 20 megawatt alternate current AC and 28.248 megawatt direct current DC solar photogenic generation facility. The proposed solar energy generation facility is project regional significance for being facility that generates electricity greater than 5 megawatts. The subject site is located east of Reno Technology Parkway, APN 084-110-29, 084-110-30, 084-110-36, and 084-110-37. Hey, Chris, may we please have your presentation?
Good evening again. Chris Tolley, Team RPA. As introduced, this is the Indigo Basin Solar Project of Regional Significance. Indigo Basin Solar Project of Regional Significance, case number CR 25-017. All right, to start with the overview, as noted, this is a project of regional significance, and we'll cover the details through the presentation. The Washoe County Planning Commission approved the conditional use permit on July 1st of this year. Regional planning staff does recommend that the proposed PRS conforms with the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan. And you can see the regional form map on the right-hand side of the screen. Subject site is located east of the Truckee Meadows overall and also east of the Reno Technology Parkway on the parcel numbers that Chair Pierce introduced. And then in terms of the regional land use designation, this is in the rural area. And then shifting from the regional form map to the neighborhood map showing the subject site. And then this is a project of regional significance. The proposed solar energy generation facility is considered PRS as it will generate greater than 5 megawatts of electricity. And then here we can see the exhibit included in the staff report. It's really intended to identify roughly where the solar facilities will be located on the site. And then you can also note to the north, the Turquoise Solar Project, and then to the south across in Story County is the Tracy Power Generation Station. Similar to the previous cases, Policy RC9 of the 2024 Regional Plan identifies the 5 factors the RPC must consider when evaluating conformance. We'll step through the details contained in the staff report. In regards to population growth, the proposal includes no residential density and will not change projected housing capacities. In regard to regional form, the proposal will not modify the existing regional form and is compatible with the existing uses in the surrounding area. In regards to public facilities and services, the proposal will not require any. And then in regards to natural resources, subject site does contain development constraints area for slope. However, the proposal largely avoids these areas and Additionally, utilities are not allowed or are an allowed use of land within the development constraints area. This is pursuant to policy NR3. A review of the regional plan also showed natural resource consideration areas, interactive various areas. A critical source water protection area is located on the subject site, and this would be to the northern portion. The proposal is not expected to impact this area, and furthermore, this area of Washoe County is part of a mule deer distribution, and the proposal will impact a negligible portion of the range. Generally, the installation of solar fields is in line with regional plan policies PF18, regional renewable energy generation, and NR17 sustainable development, which encourage use of and development of alternative or renewable energy sources. And finally, regarding regional coordination, TMRPA does ensure that this is at the forefront of our work, and we coordinate with jurisdictional staff and other relevant entities during the conformance review process. And finally, staff did provide an initial review memorandum for this case. With that, the proposed motion is on the screen and also on page 89 of the packet. This does conclude my presentation. TMRPA staff as well as Washoe County staff are available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great presentation. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody online? Nothing? Okay, do we have any public comment?
We have none.
No public comment. We'll close that, bring it back to the board for discussion. Do we have any discussion on this matter? No discussion? All right, I'll open it up for a motion. Can we get a motion on this, please?
Chair, I move to find the Indigo Basin Solar Project of regional significance in conformance with the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan based on the findings listed in the staff report.
Wonderful. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. All right, motion passes. Moving on to item number 7, reports. Do we have any member or director reports?
Mr. Chair, this is Jeremy Smith. For the record, I'd like to give a short report. First of all, I'd like to cover the fact that with the dissolution of the Truckee Meadows Parks Foundation, I think maybe I touched on this previously, we have stepped in to ensure that the regional trails plan and report and the regional trails data that we've spent a long time putting together is going to be consistently maintained. And we're working closely with staff at all 3 jurisdictions. And especially lately, we've worked with Washoe County to true up and make sure that the data are accurate. And so we're going to be fulfilling a role. We have propped up a web page on our website where you can go and get the plan and report, learn about the effort. Soon that will include a web map. And we are, like I say, coordinating with the GIS folks over at Washoe County such that when we're pleased with the level of accuracy and everything looks good, we'll be able to include that as the de facto system trails data available at the Washoe County Open Data site, where you can go and get parcels, roads, and the like. So we're continuing the data effort. Further, we took an item to the Regional Planning Governing Board at their August meeting, asking if we could operate basically as a fiscal agent to collect funds from Truckee Meadows Trails Working Group members or other interested parties that would like to contribute to this. Small amounts, but collectively could lead to funding a part-time independent contractor position that we would administer so that we can continue to have the coordination piece, which previously had been housed at the Truckee Meadows Parks Foundation. But with that gone, currently the former Trails Coordinator, Jay Howard, has been volunteering quite a bit of his time to make sure everything goes well. But we want to see if we can get a position that's actually has some funding. We think part-time on the order of $40,000 a year or even less potentially to do this work. But we're going to take care of the data and we're going to work towards that. So I'll keep you posted as we go along that path. But we're going to keep it alive because it's really an important, and you saw tonight that the scheduled additions to a couple of these plans included referencing the trails plan. So we better make sure that thing keeps going. So also, during the legislature, there was a change to the annual reporting requirements for jurisdictions and affected entities. Previously, reporting was done on April 1st, and our Truckee Meadows annual report would then follow about 2 months after that as we put together summaries of information and also talked about data, stuff like housing unit growth, population growth, We've got a little housing section in there, a job section as well. We're taking a moment because it's been particularly busy to react to that. They've changed the reporting time now to October 1st to align with the fiscal year, which really is kind of helpful because we've just done our public infrastructure plan. We've established that, and we've got the dashboard, and all of that stuff operates on the fiscal year. And so the change is good, but what we can expect, the next reporting period to be October 1st of 2026. So we're just kind of moving towards giving you that annual report, which typically you might be hearing right now or would have heard last month. That's a little bit pushed out, but we're kind of getting on a new cycle with that, which I think we expect a kind of November, December timeframe moving forward with that to respond to the October 1st. So I wanted to update you on that. And then finally, last week on Wednesday night, we were able to hold our community conversations about Team RPA's role in the energy sector and also data centers, an emergent topic in the region and relevant to our last item. Several of you were there, so thank you very much for attending and for participating. I think it was very well attended. We learned a ton, and I think we were able to present a ton of information as well. It's an evolving topic that we are really trying to do a good job of, number one, making sure that when we do projects or we do a case review like we just did for item 6G, that we have a very clear understanding of if our policies are accurately, doing the job and meeting our role in terms of NRS. And so that was a facet of it. Also, we want to, kind of in the vein of our natural resource consideration areas policy, to the degree possible, get ahead of what we anticipate will be continued renewable energy development in Washoe County in the rural area. And so we would like to continue to gather feedback around preferences where we think that's a good idea or maybe not so good of an idea, so that when we bring these projects to you in the future, we'll have that kind of lens to look through as well. And then we're also doing an information gathering per the request of this body and also the Regional Planning Governing Board, just generally around data centers, their impacts, what we should be concerned about and preparing for, and what kind of standards and strategies can our region adopt, whether, at various levels, the regional level, at the local jurisdiction level, in collaboration with the PUC and the energy providers. What should we be looking at? And so we're gathering that feedback. We had a little exercise at the meeting to understand sentiment around that and ongoing. So I am actually going to be presenting at the October 1st joint meeting of the Reno Planning Commission and Reno City Council to speak about that topic directly, standards and strategies basically for, do we need an ordinance? Do we need to go to the legislature? Where are we headed? And then I believe they have also lined up NV Energy, the Governor's Office of Economic Development, TUMWA, and maybe some other entities too, to be there to answer questions similar to the conversation. And we've put together, Shawnee's already made a webpage that kind of is a one-stop shop for all the information we've been putting together. It's a living webpage. We've got some work to do on it, but currently, what we did here in January, what we did here in March, what we took to the governing board in April, what we did at the community conversation, all of that stuff is available now online. And further, the results from the community conversation are being gathered, and we're putting some survey stuff on there. We're going to do a map exercise in advance of October 1st, so we can get as much feedback as possible to take to that joint meeting. So if you want that URL, I think tomorrow I'll just send around. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's something pretty straightforward like teamrpa.org/energy-data-center. But I'll send you the link so that you've got it and you can check it out. And that's a resource for the entire region. So with that, our next meeting is going to be on September 25th and likely will be at the Washoe County Commission chambers, not in this venue, because we're depending on what goes on with the Stonegate item that we heard at the last meeting. That may come back for reconsideration. And if so, I think we'll plan to go to the larger chamber to accommodate that. Thank you very much.
Nice report. Thank you. Anything from legal?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Jessica Prenti for the record. Just briefly, in regards to the Stonegate item, the Reno City Council is slated to determine whether or not to file an objection of this body's initial determination of nonconformance at its September 10th meeting. If the City Council chooses to file an objection, that will come back here on September 25th, as Director Smith just referred to. If they do not file an objection, then your decision becomes final. And there has already been essentially a protective appeal filed by Stonegate. And it's kind of a legally technical matter, but essentially only the local governing body or an affected entity may file an objection of a finding of nonconformance, and then it comes back to this body. So Stonegate was statutorily prohibited from filing an objection on its own, but they do have a right, as any person does, to file an appeal of this body's decision to the governing board. So depending upon what City of Reno does, you may or may not have Stonegate back here in September. Otherwise, it will go directly to the governing board. And I'm happy to address any questions anyone has between now and then, and we'll send an update certainly after the City of Reno makes its decision. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Does anybody have any questions for her on that? Nope. Okay. Request for future agenda items. Does anybody have anything? All right, not hearing any. Do we have any public comment?
We have none.
All right, do we have any written correspondence?
There's none.
All right. With that, it is 6:50. We are adjourned. Wow, I thought.